Growing up, my older brother Liam was my hero. I'm not exaggerating. He was 5 years older than me, tall, athletic, funny in that sarcastic way that made everyone like him. I was the shy little sister who followed him everywhere, always trying to be included. He never pushed me away. In fact, he made space for me, whether it was letting me sit in his room when he had friends over or sneaking me extra dessert when Mom wasn't looking. Our parents were decent people. Dad worked in IT, kind of emotionally distant but not cold. Mom worked part-time at the library and was always around. Sweet, kind, organized to a fault. We weren't rich, but we never lacked anything. Liam was the golden child. Good grades. Soccer captain. He even got a partial scholarship to college. He left home at 18 and never really looked back. I mean, he'd visit on holidays, sure, but the warmth faded with time. I used to think that was normal. People grow apart, life gets busy. Then 2 months ago, everything changed. It started with a phone call from our cousin Kelly. She and I aren't close. She's from Mom's side, lives in the same town as we grew up in. Her voice sounded off, like she'd been crying. I didn't know who else to call, as she said. But, you should talk to your mom. Something's going on. I asked what she meant. She hesitated, then dropped it. Just, or talk to her. I live about 4 hours away now. I work remotely in digital marketing, nothing fancy. No partner, no kids, it's just me. The next weekend, I drove home. I didn't warn them, figured a surprise visit would help me gauge whatever was going on. I arrived around 2 p.m. Mom was in the garden. She looked startled, even a little annoyed. "This is a surprise," as she said, wiping her hands on her jeans. "Kelly called me." Her face paled. I didn't even have to explain. "Come inside," she said. Dad was at work, so it was just us. She made tea, sat down at the kitchen table, and didn't speak for a full minute. "I didn't want you to find out like this," as she finally said. I waited. Heart pounding. "It's Liam," she said. He did something. What does that mean? She looked up at me, eyes tired. There was a girl. Back when he was 17. Her name was Marissa. I didn't recognize the name. Okay. She was 14. And that's when the pit opened in my stomach. She went on. Marissa was in the same school as Liam, a freshman. Apparently, they started a hanging out, as she put it. But it was more than that. One night, Marissa's mom found messages. Explicit ones. It turned into a whole thing. The police got involved, school administration, everything. I asked the obvious. Why didn't I know any of this? Mom looked ashamed. Because your father and I made it go away. Apparently, Marissa's family didn't want to press charges. Her mother was overwhelmed, didn't want her daughter dragged through court. There was a deal, off the record. Liam got pulled from school for mental health reasons. He then finished senior year online. We moved towns. I'd been 11 at the time. too young to understand what was happening. They told me it was for Dad's job. I sat there, stunned. He's never done anything like that since, as she said quickly. He was young. Dumb. We handled it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Not just what Liam had done, but how it was buried, erased from our family's story like it never happened. You should have told me. You were a child. I'm not now. She just nodded. The next day, I called Liam. He sounded casual, excited even, like nothing was wrong. Hey, kiddo, he said. What's up? I didn't waste time. Tell me about Mercer. There was a pause, long enough for me to know he knew exactly what I was talking about. Mom told you, he finally said. Yes. Another pause. I was 17, he said. It wasn't like what she made it sound like. We were stupid teenagers. She was 14. She lied about her age. I didn't even know what to say to that. I'm not that person anymore, he added. But you never even told me. He sighed. Because it's in the past. I'm not proud of it. But I was a kid too. I couldn't handle the conversation. I hung up. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking of all the times I'd looked up to him, all the years I spent defending him to others, even when he ghosted us for years at a time. I thought he was just busy. Now I realized he was hiding. A week later, I went digging. It took some effort, but I found Mercer online. She's married now, lives in another state, has a small Etsy business. I debated messaging her. I didn't want to reopen wounds, but I needed to know if there was more to the story. To my surprise, she responded. She remembered Liam. She didn't seem angry, but she wasn't forgiving either. She said she was confused at the time, flattered by the attention of an older boy. But now, as a grown woman, she could see how wrong it was. I was a child, she wrote. And he knew that. I thanked her and left it at that. Weeks passed. I didn't speak to Liam. My parents acted like nothing had changed. But something had shifted in me. That pedestal I'd built for him shattered. Worse, the foundation of our family suddenly felt or warped. Like I'd been living in a house built on lies. 2 nights ago, I got a text from Liam. We should talk. I didn't reply. Then yesterday, I got a package in the mail. It was a small box. No return address, but the handwriting was his. Inside was a USB drive. And a note, you deserve the truth. All of it. I hesitated for hours before plugging it in. The drive had one folder. Inside, dozens of videos, voice notes, old chat logs. I didn't want to look. But I did. And what I saw changed everything. Some of the files were his, video journals he'd recorded when he was younger. Others were disturbing. Conversations with multiple girls. None graphic, but clearly manipulative. Gaslighting. Grooming. I didn't watch all of them. I couldn't. There was a final video, labeled as Start Here. It was Liam, maybe a few months ago. I know what I did, he said. And I'm not asking for forgiveness. But I want you to understand. I've spent years in therapy. I've tried to change. I donate to organizations that help victims. But I also know that doesn't undo what I was. What I did. You were always the one person who believed in me. You deserve to know who I really am. I'm sorry. Then the screen went black. I haven't responded. I don't know if I ever will. I haven't told my parents what was on the drive. I probably never will. I don't know what to do with this story, or what it means for me. But writing it down, even here, helps. Maybe it's a kind of beginning. Maybe it's just the end of something I thought was real.